Hello StarCraft fans, this is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between ShoWTimE and Nerchio on Ruins of Seras. This is from their series from the Home Story Cup that wrapped up just a few days ago, or possibly last week depending on when this posts. And let's go ahead and introduce the players. In the top left of Ruins of Seras we have the Blue Zerg player representing Team Acer and the nation of Poland. It is Nerchio. And in the bottom left of Ruins of Seras, we have the Red Protoss player from Team Millennium and representing the nation of Germany. It is ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE versus Nerchio here on Ruins of Seras, a big 4-player map where anybody can spawn anywhere at any time, which means you have to probe scout. Look at this, ShoWTimE probe scouting, because he wants to know where the Zerg player is. He could be here, he could be here, he could be here. You don't know. You just don't know. The Overlord scouting will find ShoWTimE, luckily for Nerchio. This Overlord will never find him in a million years. It takes so long for Overlords to get up to this base, and heaven forbid ShoWTimE is down here, because scouting down here with an Overlord would take even longer. So the probe says, alright, not there, that's okay, I'm alright, I'm going to head up north, and guess what, he's probably going to be there, but you know what, nope, not there either, which means by process of elimination he will find out that Nerchio is here, but only after about 2 minutes of game time. Wait. No, the probe says no. Is he actually going to spot this Overlord? Yes, he does spot the Overlord coming from the north. Nerchio actually has the vision to see this Nexus, but not reveal himself, not reveal this Overlord himself, but instead chose to move on in for the full scout anyway, seeing the timing on that second assimilator, seeing the gateway, and it was a Nexus first play here from ShoWTimE. So Nerchio gets some information from that as well. Tells him he probably should take a third hatchery. Good job, Nerchio. Good game sense, my friend. And it looks like a gasless opening here from Nerchio as well. So it was hatch, into pool from Nerchio. And the probe scouts all of this, some good information as to what's coming out from the Zerg player. Says, all right, I'm not getting early pooled. I don't have to worry about canceling this Nexus. And he won't. Cybernetics core coming up. How did I get over there? Cybernetics core on the way, as well as another gateway. Okay, so when I saw this in a previous game, I said the timing works out with the gas with the second Nexus to chrono boost out 2 Adepts in these 2 gateways, but instead they were Stalkers. So in this situation, I'm going to again call Adept, because it was Petit Drogo who went for the Stalker, and I think ShoWTimE might be more of a fan of Adepts. But we will have to wait and see. Probe scouting back and forth, patrolling just to make sure any Lings that come his way will be scouted first. The Lings do find this probe. Ooh, good reaction time by ShoWTimE, getting that probe out of there. Should be able to make it home with just a single Ling chasing it. This Ling making sure nothing scary comes from that area to threaten this third base, which just is about to pop. And pop, there it goes. Mothership core on the way, and indeed it is Adepts. Hooray! Chrono boosted Adepts. Excellent. Now the problem here is that the gas is just getting started for Nerchio, which means he won't have roaches or Ling speed for quite a while. Which means he has to deal with these Adepts pretty much with pure slow Ling and Queen, which can be a bit of a problem. I mean, he will have plenty of Queens, because in this gasless opening you need to have a bunch of Queens. But again, Queens just don't hit that hard against Adepts. Adepts have, what is that, 150 hit points? And Queens, using their Talons, only hit for 4 attacks for 2 damage each. It just takes a while for them to kill Adepts with that extra shielding that they have. So, creep spread looking pretty good. Really needs to spread the creep between these 2 bases. I'm not sure if he realizes how much of a priority that is. But here come the Adepts using Psionic Transfer to get past these Queens. And are they going to finish the transfer? No! Instead, going to go after this base. Drone immediately evacuates the heck on out of there. Doesn't lose a single thing. Lings come on in and try to deal with them. But man, that extra damage, 23 damage versus light, enough to kill those very quickly. And here they come. And yeah, there are slow Lings and Queens here as well. The Lings, do they get a surround? They're trying to go for it, and they do get one of the Adepts. The other Adept is marching, striding forward here onto the main base. Lings and Queens here as well, and does get a single kill before getting evaporated as well. So, 2 Adepts for 1 drone and 3 Lings. I feel like Nerchio won that engagement pretty darn handily. Meanwhile, walling off back at home, gateway, robotics facility, forge, probably for disruptors, although possibly could be for immortals as well. Creep spread looking okay. Has not quite connected these bases yet, but this creep tumor should finish the job. Exactly what Nerchio needs to do. Meanwhile, Nerchio not going for a lair. Getting spore crawlers up in his bases. There goes the Roach Warren. Just really droning up. He's pretty much even right now with ShoWTimE because Chrono Boost is pretty darn good. Chrono boosting on your Nexuses is a good way to do things, although ShoWTimE is not actually doing that. Where's his Chrono boost? On this Warp Prism and on this Resonating Glaives upgrades. Looks like we're going to see some Adept harassment with Warp Prisms coming out for the ShoWTimE. Mothership Core does kill a Zergling. And where's that Warp Prism? Here it is. We're going to follow the Warp Prism. We're going to name her Roberta. Because I think it's a robot, this Warp Prism. I don't think anybody's actually piloting it. Freeling there. Boop. And picks it up with that extra range pickup. Overlord, again, does spot the Warp Prism. Queen trying to snipe it on down. The Slowlings get on up here. Get a full surround on one of the Adepts. Another Queen comes in for support, getting some spines off. And does force the Warp Prism home. So nice little hold there by Nerchio, making sure the Warp Prism didn't get too many kills with those Adepts that popped on in. Resonating Glaives has finished, which makes the Adepts increase their attack speed by 40%, which really helps in the DPS count. DPS matter. Ooh, Roach is in perfect position to rebuff another landing there. I think that was luck by Nerchio. But flying over this creep just means the Zerg can see where you are, ShoWTimE. You need to make a decision or get the heck out of there. I guess making Nerchio nervous is pretty good, but in the end, he's not really killing much of anything. This base does have a Spore and a Spine. I love that. Just a little bit of static defense, especially for the bases that are farther away from your main. Spine, 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 and not enough to actually kill the Warp Prism. Not all by her lonesome is the Queen. Some slow Lings pushing up. He's not even getting Ling speed. Is Nerchio. Surprisingly, third base up and running though for ShoWTimE. It is fully established. There's a Photon Cannon in there. There's double Photon Overcharge available as well. But here come a bunch of Roaches and Ravagers. They're going to try to kill this anyway. Corrosive Bile being thrown on down, and they do kill the cannon in the middle, but double Photon Overcharge is still a darn thing. Good force fields trapping a bunch of Ravagers in the middle, dying to Photon Overcharge. A small retreat here by Nerchio, then coming in once again with a lot of Roaches, a lot of Ravagers. The Immortals, though, doing great against these Roaches. Getting the Mothership Core, huge, huge pickup there by Nerchio. Adepts forcing a full retreat here on this base. Are they going to follow into the main as well? They are, and there's nothing here but just a few Roaches that should be able to handle it. A bunch of drones will die. It looks like Nerchio is focusing all of his attention up here and then deciding to come on in. More Corrosive Bile taking down a Pylon. They do finish up the Pylon. Mothership Core pops out. She does have enough energy to do 2 Photon Overcharges as soon as she is made. And here's a full retreat from Nerchio. They do finally get rid of the Adepts. Back in the natural there. 11 drones died, though. 12 total throughout this game. It's 49 to 60 Harvesters. ShoWTimE looking pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. Stalkers, Immortals, Sentries, Blink on the way, continuing that Immortal production and switching up to Aspire is Nerchio. He says, you know what? I'm going to go for maybe some Mutas, maybe some Corruptors, maybe some Broodlords. Who knows? Queens again spiking away this Warp Prism. There's nothing in it, but it can warp in gateway units wherever it is, so it's very dangerous regardless. So at this point, waiting for that Spire can take a while. I'm not sure what Nerchio is going to try to do, other than just kind of dance in this narrow choke that I think benefits ShoWTimE more than anything. I think Nerchio recognizes that. He's going to back on out, maybe to the safety of the creep. Can maneuver a little bit better out there. And trying to warp in more units, but nope, not going to happen. Roaches on the spot. Sending the whole army back here in response to this Warp Prism. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but taking a 4th base. I think Nerchio might have done this a while ago to better effect, but yeah, he's not dead, so far so good. Robotics Bay on the way for ShoWTimE. Army looking very, very strong indeed. Upgrades, pretty good. +1 attack there, +2 being researched as well. There's that first Disruptor. The first Disruptor here at the 8-minute and 28-second mark. Again, Disruptor's good. Nerchio's dodging up Purification Novas. Maybe not the best I've ever seen, but he is pretty good. And that's pretty much how this is going to go. Disruptor hit. Zerg's going to lose. If they don't hit, Nerchio has a pretty good chance. Roaches, Ravagers with no upgrades of their own. Hydralisk 10 on the way and 10 Mutas on the way too. So 10 Mutas here. Double Stargate though. Did he scout that Spire? As the Adepts start killing stuff. Yes, he did scout the Spire. Well done indeed. Queen's going to toe-to-toe with the Adepts, but the Mutas are flying on in here. Adepts cannot shoot up. Another attack down here. Corrosive Bile being thrown down. Almost takes out a Stalker or 2. But finally, all the Adepts do get cleaned up from the Mutas from the air. They're going to try to chase down this Warp Prism, and they do get the Warp Prism there. Nicely done. But again, double pumping Phoenix here. ShoWTimE should be ready for that. Free Disruptor. Free Disruptor. They do get it. Force fields being thrown down. Catch a couple Roaches. Killed one of them. And then just backing on out, bashing once again. Nerchio committing a little bit here. Corrosive Bile being thrown down, takes out a Stalker or 2. Free Disruptor, nicely done. Free Disruptor, indeed. The Mutas free reign over here. Photon Overcharge coming up. Double Photon Overcharge coming up. Chasing those Mutas away. Chasing away most of Nerchio's army. Another attack here. A pincer move coming from the left side and the right side here are the Roaches, the Ravagers, and the Mutas. But again, Photon Overcharge and the Immortals able to shove this back. Nerchio goes from the aggressor to a defender quite quickly, then moving back around to try to force a cancel, or rather just kill this Nexus outright. I think that might be a good idea as well. Mutas, again, the intent here is to get the pylons first, because Photon Overcharge, again, is very, very strong. Corrosive Bile thrown down, forcing the army back once again. More Mutas in production coming on in. Ravager, Roach, Muta, pretty good against Stalkers, though, I'd have to say. Although, +2 attack here on these Stalkers, and no upgrades at all on the Roaches or the Ravagers. Blinking forward very aggressively, losing a bunch of Stalkers for his trouble with ShoWTimE, and decides to back on out and protect his 4th base. Nerchio does take out yet another pylon. Finally, a Nova gets off. I feel like that was the first one we saw. A bunch of Disruptors have died so far without getting so much as a shot off. Okay, two total, but anyway. Slowlings here in this army. 5 Mutas. Nerchio really going for this Muta count. Again, I'm not sure if it's a great idea just because Blinking Stalkers and Phoenix are really good. Corrosive Bile hitting his own units there. A Nova comes up, does catch a single Ravager. Lings. Slow Lings trying to get us around on all these units, but a good blink out instead, forcing another push out with this Purification Nova. The Phoenix are in the air now. They're going to chase down these Mutas and force them to flee for their lives. Although they did kill a whole bunch of probes here, continuing to assault this probe line. 18, 19 probes have died. Turning again on top of the Phoenix, making sure the Phoenix do not get up to too big of a count. And blinking forward once again are the Blink Stalkers. Another blink, another few Mutas end up dead there. 23 Mutas have died. There are currently 16 on the field, so that's a lot of dead Mutalisks. ShoWTimE showing he can deal with those fairly well indeed. Corruptors on the way, +1 Flyer Carapace on the way. And probe count is 66 to 66. I'd like to see Nerchio expand during this period of aggression, but he does seem to have most of his attention focused down here on his Mutaling Corruptor army. Expanding way over here is Nerchio, not actually taking this base, which I feel like, I don't know, it's just easy to defend. It's right here, right next to your main and your natural. I don't know why he wouldn't go there, but this one's hidden. It's possible ShoWTimE won't see it for quite some time. The Mutas continue to be annoying. Flying around, taking out cannons, taking out pylons, going after more and more of these probes. 10, 11, 12, 13, and they're just flying away when the reinforcements show up. Exactly really how Mutas should be used. 40 probes have died thus far, 17 drones, a blink forward, and a Phoenix ambush there. And the Corruptor is taking fire as well. They can handle it a little bit better than the Mutas can because they are not light units. Free Overseers, though, those guys are slow. They end up dead. Overlords flying on in for some reason. I think they might be rallied. Bit of a misclick there by Nerchio. More Overlords fallen as well. Roaches and Corruptors and Mutas chasing ShoWTimE back. Nova coming on in. Whiffs, not catching anything at all. And moving in on the creep here once again. There we go. I was going to say, I'd like to see Ling Speed if you have this many Lings. And indeed, Ling Speed is on the way. Nerchio is supply blocked, getting replacement Overlord to deal with it. A single Oracle on the way as well. Pretty big battle here at the same time. And are the Phoenix able to make their thing happen? The Roaches do not want to stand in and fight. There are too many Immortals with that +2 attack to really make it worth it. Again, no upgrades on anything except for that +1 Flyer Carapace for Nerchio. I think that's going to come back and bite him in the end here. But here comes ShoWTimE marching on up, killing all these Overlords that are slow, that are not being defended at all. Nerchio getting supply block, not quite yet. The Muta's kind of facing everybody back. Small group of Roaches trying to harass from that right side, but here it is. Right side, top side, and left side. Corrosive Bile is being thrown down. Repositioning a little bit here is ShoWTimE. Are there drones being pulled off the line? There may very well be. Roaches and Ravagers trying to kill these Stalkers. The Muta's flying on in. They don't care who ends up killing them at all. The Corruptors need to focus down these Phoenix, and they are. For now, the final Phoenix falls. That Immortal gets out of there with 16 kills and does end up dead, though. 2 more Phoenix here as well. Mutas and Corruptors take care of it, and ShoWTimE in full retreat, basically with only Stalkers right now. What's over here? Oh, just the Stalkers. All right, so units tab right now. 4 mutas, 8 roaches, 4 corruptors, 7 ravagers versus 30 stalkers, a disruptor, a phoenix, and oracle. For ShoWTimE, warping in more and more of these stalkers, is not getting +3 attack at this point, which I'm a little bit surprised at, but I think he wants more army rather than even more upgrades, recognizing that Nerchio has nothing by way of upgrades. They have been revealed here. Revelation has been tossed onto these units, and they're forced to retreat onto the creep. They are faster than stalkers, running for their lives. The Phoenix, the Corruptor also flying for its life. Oracle, late game harassment Oracle, ends up getting 5 kills. Can he get 6? He does get 6 kills. Another free drone here, and yes, 7 kills now. Wow, very effective indeed. Blinkstalker just blinking around, killing overlords where they can. The Lings do have speed now. They do have speed now. It's nice. Infester's on the way. More Adepts got warped in there for ShoWTimE, and 2 Disruptors with no kills. These are Virgin Disruptors. Oh, just kidding, with one kill there. The Warp Prism finds this base. There's a Spore Crawler building, but no Spine Crawlers. I think warping in some units here would be worth it, and ShoWTimE agrees. ShoWTimE comes in, drops his Adepts here, kills a couple drones, forces a full retreat on that base there. Spore Crawler, oh no, the Warp Prism takes a bunch of damage from that Spore. The mutas come in to deal with it, and ShoWTimE takes the advantage, marching right on up here with some Purification Nova Disruptors as well. Good concave, though, from Nerchio. Novas come in, catch a couple of the Ravagers. The Lings are a good answer to these units. However, the Lings catch the Disruptors out. Ah, both Disruptors end up getting killed there. The Adepts locking down this base as well. Lings come running on in, but getting massacred. Then more Lings come on in, and it's the Adepts' turn to get massacred. This base still up and running. 45 to 55 harvesters right on now. 6 drones in production. Nerchio trying to replace what he lost, as well as get a hive and more disruptor production here, along with Archons for ShoWTimE. So ShoWTimE's going to try to go with Archons. I really like the saturation he has on his bases. Having 55 harvesters now is pretty good. A little bit oversaturated on the 3rd. The 4th base is looking fancy, however, and once this base pops up, he should be able to remedy that oversaturation problem. Here's that Oracle. The Corruptors finally find it. It can't decide quite where to go, and ends up getting killed by the Corruptors. Just pretty much gave up on life. Warp Prism's over here, warping in more Adepts. Going to pick them up. I assume head down to this base and kill some more stuff, because there's no static defense here for ShoWTimE, or Nerchio rather, at all. 17,600 minerals lost for Nerchio, 7,000 gas, 16,000 minerals, and 5,800 gas for our friend the Protoss ShoWTimE. 44 and 47 harvesters lost respectively for these players. The mutas flying on out, and here comes a huge Ling run by. Is there anything here? No Purification Nova, but the recall. Oh, the recall saves this base. Wait, did he recall probes in? What was that? That was weird. Anyway, the Lings are still doing pretty well. Double photon overcharge, though, does face them away. And hey, this base only has a single cannon here. Meanwhile, Adept Harass going to town on this base, as well as this base, completely locking it on down. Can these Lings kill this cannon? Not with no upgrades, they certainly can't. Oh no, a hatchery trying to be built. Long distance mining, and no, blinking up, killing a bunch more of those probes. Again, these bases doing nothing. Finally, the army responds for Nerchio, and the Adepts get cleaned up there. 2 Adepts here, 3 Adepts here as well are getting discovered, but marching up with his army here is ShoWTimE. The Archons are +2, 43 damage versus biological here. And here they come, just dancing around on the creep. Actually coming back home. Why? The army's way over here. Go kill some bases, ShoWTimE. You can do it. You get some free roaches. There are a lot of workers on that mineral patch. Come on, man. You can do it. Dun, dun, dun. Getting Neural Parasite. What? Alright, so I haven't seen that used. Okay, I've seen it researched on my channel recently, but not actually used yet. We'll see if Nerchio can pull that off. Blinking on in. This base completely gone. Thanks for playing, base. You is dead. This base is not dead. Are we still long distance mining here? No. Ah, single Zealot warps in, but the Warp Prism dies to these mutas. Da, da, da. Long distance mining here is ShoWTimE now. Having lost this base, the Archon in the front, the Stalkers, the Adepts, this might be a final battle of Fungal on top of all of these units here. Roaches, Ravagers clean up this entire group. There is nowhere for them to go, get completely destroyed. 157 and 125 total supply right now in favor of Nerchio. Nicely done with the Fungal growth. More long-distance mining for ShoWTimE. Does he have enough to make another Nexus? Just about. Just about. Instead, spending the money on Adepts and Disruptors. Okay, so he wants army more than he wants to actually expand, which might be a bit of a problem. Stalker running on in. There are 2 queens here, well, again, with no upgrades whatsoever. So 2 queens versus a Stalker. Who wins here? Well, assuming the Stalker is not actually attacking. There we go. Stalker trying to focus down drones, not worrying about the queens at all. And look at this, the entire army heading up here to try to deal with a single Stalker that dies before they get there. Nerchio, come on, man. Get in there, kill this base. Does he know about it? He does not know about this base. Scouting, send Lings out. I know it's hard. The mutas are looking for bases over here, which is good. I like that. But again, not knowing about this base is going to cause him some problems in the long run. More mutas on the way for Nerchio, despite the fact I don't feel like they've been super effective. 9 mutas on the field. 48 have died. Woo! Muta massacre here in this game for sure. Here at the 20-minute mark. Lurkers on the field, though. Again, with no upgrades whatsoever. I don't know what Nerchio has against upgrades in this game, but I don't think it's helping him at all. Hive, no units here. Hatchery, no units here. Another hatchery, no units here. This is the mining base, and this is the mining base for Nerchio. This is all he has right now, compared to effectively 1 mining base for ShoWTimE. I guess 2. Nah, he has 2, so it's 2 base versus 2 base as far as mining goes. That gives ShoWTimE the advantage, in my personal opinion. Long-distance mining here as well is Nerchio. He has enough money for a hatchery, but instead going to lose these drones. Kaput. Army dancing back and forth, not really accomplishing much of anything here. Sending the Lings and the mutas over while bringing Lurkers and Infestors and Ravagers over this way. Oh no, more Adept harassment from ShoWTimE. And the Adepts are going to get cleaned up, but they're going to kill even more of those drones. It's 37 to 40 right now in favor of ShoWTimE. Stalkers checking for more bases this way. Nothing doing. Are these Adepts finally dead? Man, that took longer than I expected. 61 drones have died. 61 probes have died. Look at that. Equality for the races. Mutas and Infestors and Lings and Lurkers and Ravagers and Overseers here. Pretty good composition. I like it. I like it better if there were maybe some Carapace upgrades or something. More Adepts over here. So many more Adepts over here. Holy shamoly. Now 77 drones have died. Down to 25 is Nerchio. Here comes the big attack. And no, ShoWTimE backs out. Does not want to commit. Small Ling run by here. And a recall is forced down to this Nexus. All these Lings are definitely going to die. But forcing the recall was nice. I feel like Nerchio was in a bad spot, but I'm bought him some more time. Some more attacks down this way. There's no defense over here, though, and recall was just used. So here comes some Roaches and Ravagers. These probes need to run for their lives, and they do. They run. Corrosive Bow thrown down, killing that pylon. No more warped-in reinforcements. No more photon overcharge. Corrosive Bow thrown down once again. The Phoenix here to defend, though, lifting up these Ravagers. More Stalkers showing up to help as well. More Stalker attacks, taking out these Queens, taking out more drones, taking out Extractors, exactly what they need to do. Mutas flying on in, Stalkers warping in, double photon overcharge, forcing those Mutas away. More units coming on down, and here comes some Corruptors as well. The Corruptors take out the Phoenix Door, force them to retreat. At the very least, the army is here, though. Fungal growth on top of those Stalkers, and they force to blink away and run. There's a huge force here. The Corruptors might want to use Caustic Spray if they can. The Mutas being super annoying as well, just flying around, killing pylons, depowering stuff, you know, just Muta things. Actually stopping the +3 upgrade there on the Forge, exactly what he wanted to do. Flying on in here again, killing more probes. Nope, Blink Stalker's ready for that. Blink Stalker's over here, also ready for that. The Muta's a little bit trapped now. Janking in once again, juking in, double photon overcharge and a cannon, forcing them out of the way. A Great Spire coming up once again. So many Great Spires from Zergs recently on my channel. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of fun. I like it. And I'm not sure that the success rate has been ever so good, but, you know, I guess that's not important in StarCraft 2 succeeding. Big old attack with Adepts and Archons and Stalkers and Disruptors. Moving across onto a patch with no creep. Just hanging on in, catching those Mutos on, blinking forward, killing more and more of those, leaving the Disruptors a little bit exposed. Not sure that Nerchio sees that or not, but Lurkers are set up here, which is not where ShoWTimE is going, unfortunately for Nerchio. The Muta's flying on in, going to lock down this base here while the army's out of position. Maybe actually force a recall here. Walking into all those lurkers, not a great idea. Losing an Archon immediately. Purification Nova coming right on in. Not killing much of anything there. A bit of a miss there by ShoWTimE. All those probes ended up dead. The Mutas are just probe killing machines right now. This Roach tries to deal with it, but guess what? Nope, the Adepts have +2 attack. They are super, super good indeed. Moving up here again, the Blink Stalkers forcing a full retreat on workers from this base as well. The Mutas... Stalkers ready to defend against them in this particular location. It is 35 to 26 Harvesters. The hatchery does end up falling. ShoWTimE takes some damage from the Broodlings. Doesn't really matter. Changelings here hanging out. The drones transferring over to this base. Pretty darn oversaturated, if I do say so myself. The Adepts going after this extractor. The army moving on in. Gets the mothership core. No, it does recall to safety just barely. And it's turning into a base race, ladies and gentlemen. ShoWTimE getting the Lurker Den. Also this hatchery. This used up extractor. Mutas, Corruptors flying in. Double photon overcharge though is enough to force Nerchio to retreat. And indeed, the Adepts are going to kill this hatchery. This is kind of insane. I don't see that very often at all. The Lurkers enough to dissuade the base trade in earnest though for ShoWTimE, and Nerchio decides to cancel the base trade too, heading on back home to support his Lurkers. The army once again 159 to 140 total supply in favor of Nerchio. And 34 to 25 Harvesters, again, in favor of the Zerg player. So, I don't know. Is this going to be some probe on drone action here? It is. The drones going after the probes. Do they know enough to defend themselves? Looks like they're just long-distance mining, not worrying about the drones at all. The drone's actually not getting a kill. Getting some hits off, but that's about it. Sending Novas in, and does catch a few roaches there and a Ravager. Sending its corpse flying on down. ShoWTimE moving out. Single drone. Not sure what you were doing there, buddy, but enjoy your stay, I guess. The probes, or the drones, do get cleaned up by this here Stalker, and the Mutas flying on down with support of some Overseers. Most of the armor staying back here to defend the single mining base that Nerchio has left. 26-minute mark here. Stalkers moving on in. The Mutas decide to try to kill them. And no, getting surrounded on all sides, unfortunately. Picking up a probe, because why not? Again, that's what Mutas are good for. Overseers flying on in. They do see the Mothership core heading out. They do see some Disruptors here, throwing down some Changelings to mix in with the army. Although, unfortunately for him, there are not many Zealots, or rather any Zealots in ShoWTimE's army. Free Phoenix there at the same time. Blink Stalkers coming on up, trying to kill Overseers, trying to kill Mutas, exactly what they are meant to do. And taking a base up here is Nerchio. Can he come back? I mean, he's up in worker count. He's up in total army supply, but... again, this no upgrade thing is really starting to hurt me. A single Broodlord is morphing in. Where the heck is that Broodlord? Here it is. 2 Broodlords, 3 Broodlords in here. But Blink Stalkers are really good against Broodlords. I don't know. I really don't know. The Stalkers do not want to go in there. Lurkers do so well against them. Nova comes in, kills a Roach. That Nova kills a Roach as well. Lings get a surround on that Disruptor. Can they kill it? No. Disruptor gets micro to the back. And kept alive to live another day. Sending Novas in. This long distance mining finally turns into a Nexus for ShoWTimE. Might try to take a base here as well. But these drones trying to come up to this base. Army recognizes there gotta be something over here. I saw those drones transferring. Did he replant this one? No. No, he did not. Did he replant this one? I don't know why he would. Pretty much mined out. This one, though. And, yep, the Stalkers find that one. Unfortunately for these drones, they are all going to die. Excellent, excellent game sense by ShoWTimE. Recognizing there's a base there. Finally, blinking in at the last second. What are the Broodlords going to do? Are these defensive Broodlords? I don't know. I feel like ShoWTimE is just trying to kind of starve out Nerchio right now. The Muta's flying on in. Mothership core. No, not enough to deal with a photon overcharge. Unfortunately, these Mutas are not willing to do that. Another attack here. Purification Nova getting a couple shots off, but again, the Lurkers MVPs here. Not getting many kills, but again, they do extra damage versus armored, which is what Stalkers are. This base under complete lockdown. Nothing even being made to try and save it. Hydra's on the way as well. Stalkers do pick off a Lurker and then blink back. Broodlings chasing him down, but shouldn't be able to do too much damage here. Ling's getting a surround on that Stalker. No, blinking out of it. And does not have a blink left, so ends up falling as well. Broodlings. Oh my goodness, Broodlings actually killed a Stalker there. 4 kills and 8 kills on those guys. The Mutas and lock down this base for ShoWTimE as well. And a fungal Fungal Broodlord again blinking in, trying to kill stuff. Nova's coming in, chasing the ground army back, but the Broodlings doing some strikes, man. Getting some strikes there. Adepts flowing on in. This is it for ShoWTimE. I think he's committing here. And a Fungal on a bunch of those Stalkers. The Adepts come on in as well. The Blink Stalkers going after the Broodlords, focusing down 1, focusing down 2. Can they get a 3rd? I don't know. The Immortals are all still alive. Stalkers dying as well. Lings running on in, trying to get us round. And that's it. A GG from ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE is defeated. Nerchio's victorious, and ShoWTimE has left the game. I have to say I'm amazed that Nerchio won that. Again, he did have a worker lead. I guess it really came down to the Mutas locking this down. They came down and killed this base. They killed most of the workers at this base. ShoWTimE only had 7 workers left. He had to win this final battle. He sent the Stalkers against the Broodlords fairly well. But again, there's just too many Lings, too many Lurkers lurking about. A few Hydras mixed in as well. That was excellent, excellent for Nerchio. They do so well against gateway units. The Immortals that were left might have been able to do it, but the Lings swinging up from the right side really took it down. And that was it in the end for ShoWTimE. He knew he couldn't come back. Again, there was nothing here for Nerchio, but again, ShoWTimE didn't have anything either going for him. So that was it. Well played again by both of these players. Good showing by both Protoss and Zerg. They should leave this game with their heads held high. Okay, that's it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /FalconPaladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.